Hi, in this demo, we'll see how users can now provide custom mapping for port forwarding while using AudioDev. Now, why would a feature like this be helpful? Let's take example of a developer who's working on a multi-component application where they've got a front-end application and a back-end application. They first run the front-end application on cluster with the help of AudioDev, and it returns a port mapping 20001 to 8080, where 20001 is the local port and 8080 is the container port. Then they run the backend application on cluster and it returns a port mapping 20002 to 9000. All this is fine, but let's take a case where we already have two other applications running on a cluster and they've occupied ports 20001 and 20002. In this case, when you run the backend and frontend application, you get a different port mapping than before. Here we've got 20003 to 9000 and 20004 to 8080. As you can see, there is less predictability on what port number you might get, and you might also need to reconfigure your applications depending on the port number that you get. Now, wouldn't it be nice if you could define a custom mapping for these port forwardings? And this is where our star of the show, port forward flag, comes into picture. Let these two applications be running on the cluster and utilize whatever ports they want. But for our front-end and back-end application, we'll run AudioDev with the port forward flag and provide a custom mapping. So for this, I'll be providing 8000 to 8080 and for this 9090 to 9000. Let us see this in action now. So I've got my front end and back end projects ready, and together combined, they create a voting application between cats and dogs. I'm going to run this application on a local Kubernetes cluster that I've created with Docker Desktop. So let's run audio dev first for our front end application. We'll use the port mapping that we defined earlier. The same way for backend application. We'll wait for these applications to come up. Our front-end application is ready and we can access it on port 8000 like we requested. But you'll also see that there is another mapping for port 5858. We'd not provided a custom mapping, but Odeo took it upon itself to assign a ranged port to this. Our backend application is also ready, so we can now go to our browser and access the application. I'll first open the results tab. Now, at this moment, both of them are at a tie, but if we vote for the dog, we see that the results have been updated and our application is run as expected. So this feature has currently only been implemented for cluster, but the work for Podman is in progress. And I hope this was helpful. Thank you very much.